How important is the lost art of listening when it comes to building a brand? Well, pretty darn important when you consider that all of your income will come from listening. That's right, all of it, pretty much every pretty penny. Listen and grow rich. Hi everyone, this is Canon with Inspiration to Millions. The success of your brand is directly proportional to how well your brand listens. I'm going to come straight out and tell you all of your income will be from listening, all of it. This is true for every business. There are no exceptions. The importance of active listening when building a brand is a nuance that many businesses miss, and it's a nuance that every thriving business has nailed. There isn't a name on the Fortune 100 that hasn't mastered the art of listening to their customers. These heavy hitters virtually pour resources into discovering the next great way for their brand to listen. No matter what stage you're at with the building of your brand, and regardless if you're a seasoned professional or a burgeoning entrepreneur, you can begin to jet propel your brand's trajectory towards success by upleveling your listening now. No matter what business you're in, brand loyalty is your business plan. And the only way into that sweet spot is through listening. We're going to explore the 3 secrets behind an active listening brand. They are: always ask, even if you think you know the answer. Treat everyone as if they have something to teach you. And the magic of yes and. When I think of the importance of feeling heard, the first image that comes to my mind is like a massive arena of people gathered together, like Dodger Stadium, with the stands just filled with fiercely loyal fans. Their faces are painted, half blue, half white. Their eyes are glued intently on the field, mustard stains glued intently to their shirts. Or like Madison Square Garden, where people flock by the thousands from all over the world to cheer on the Knicks, or sing with Beyonce and Jay-Z, or feel their hearts catch inside their throats when Andrea Bocelli hits that note in Ave Maria. When we love something, we gather together to make our voices heard as one. We gather together to be with other people who feel the same as we do. We gather together because we are invested in a common interest, a common goal. On the other end of the spectrum, the reason people gather is in protest when they are feeling that they are not being heard. Martin Luther King's March on Washington in 1962, the one where he delivered "I Have a Dream," this protest of over 200,000 people led to major reforms in American history. The Monday demonstrations in the 80s consisted of people of all ages and cultures attending a weekly prayer service together. And this protest of over 300,000 people helped to bring down the Berlin Wall. When we feel strongly about something, we gather together to make our voices heard as one. We gather together to be with other people who feel the same way we do. We gather together because we are invested in a common interest. Being heard is important, not just to some people, but to all people. Which means being heard is not just important to some customers, but to all customers. On a personal level, the people we feel closest to are often the people we feel listen to us. That's how they know us better than the rest. When we feel heard, we feel understood, we feel loved, we feel at home. The brands that listen the best are the brands we feel know us the best. The brands that know us the best are the brands that feel like home. And when your brand feels like home, you get brand loyalty. The first secret of an active listening brand is always ask, even if you think you know the answer, especially if you think you know the answer. Have you ever felt that frustration of trying to express yourself to someone who thinks they already know what you're going to say? Even if someone has a general idea of what we want to say, we still want the opportunity to express it in our own words, through our own experience. Many people listen in this way, a sort of half listening, half planning how they're going to respond. When a brand listens in this manner, people get frustrated and they get bored. As one of my favorite writers, Ralph Waldo Emerson, puts it, there's a difference between truly listening and waiting for your turn to talk. I call this type of listening cowardly listening. When we are cowardly listening, we're merely like skimming the surface of what someone else is saying in order to plan our next move. Like the cowardly lion in The Wizard of Oz, whose first reaction to everyone is like, put him up, put him up. I thought he was so cute. But these are defense tactics to protect ourselves from becoming vulnerable. Cowardly listening doesn't work in relationships, and it doesn't work in creating brand loyalty. And brand loyalty is your business plan. If your brand can't value the vulnerability of its customers, the customer won't be able to feel close to your brand. When deciding what to buy, every person faces emotional obstacles. They must personally overcome them. The most common of these obstacles are time, money, energy, and peer pressure. The question these obstacles present include like, is there still time enough for me to make a change? Am I too old? Am I too young? Will I be able to follow through? What if I fail? What if other people, what will they think of me? These are difficult questions to be faced with. These questions induce a state of vulnerability. And if people don't feel safe and heard by your brand, they won't find the courage, the inspiration, or the support they need to overcome these vulnerabilities, these obstacles to buy. All of the top-notch rock star brands are constantly, consistently asking their customers, what does our brand mean to you? How does our brand make you feel? What value do you get from using our brand? If your brand is merely skimming the surface for the keywords and what your ideal customers are saying, you're missing the heart, the deeper truth, the gold that lies in what they're really trying to tell you. If without asking them you assume you already know even the tiniest detail about what your ideal customer wants, needs, or secretly desires, you are guaranteed to miss the thing that could have bonded you, your brand, with them over all other brands. So let's say you're selling almond milk ice cream, and your brand community says they like it because it tastes good and it's dairy-free. I mean, you didn't even need to ask that, right? You could have figured that one out on your own. But then you listen more closely. You keep asking. You discover one person got to serve cake and ice cream at their kid's birthday party for the first time, and none of the other kids even noticed the difference. Another person refused to try any milk substitutes until they tried your ice cream, and now they use almond milk to eat cereal. They tried new recipes. It's opening up a whole new realm of fun memories in the kitchen. And another person likes it because her family doesn't complain when she uses the almond milk ice cream as a healthier alternative for dessert. And she even noticed her husband has lost a little weight. When you ask and keep asking, and then truly listen, and then listen some more, you're guaranteed to gain something that will draw you closer to your ideal brand community every time. Can you see some potential ad campaigns for the almond milk company? Maybe some product ideas, maybe some design ideas for their website or packaging on their next product? Good. This is the nuance in listening. There's always a deeper truth hidden just below the surface. There's always more to learn. It's your brand's responsibility to keep listening until your ideal individuals feel safe enough to reveal their inner sanctum of hidden truth. And there is always an inner sanctum of hidden truth. As Mark Twain says, wisdom is the reward you get for a lifetime of listening when you would have rather talked. When you want to grow closer to your ideal brand community, forget everything you think you know about who they are, what they want from your brand, how they feel about your brand, and ask them again and again and again. Provide your ideal individuals with endless opportunities to reveal more to you about who they are and who they wish to become. Provide your brand with endless opportunities to win brand loyalty. And this leads us to the second secret of an active listening brand. Treat everyone as if they have something to teach you. You've asked the questions, and now the listening begins. It's time to lean in like your life depends on it, because the life of your brand does depend on it. It's that moment in a movie when the mysterious sage reveals to that wide-eyed adventurer where he might find the hidden treasure. It's when a college professor goes over the hardest questions the day before the final exam. It's when someone you love calls you out of the blue and says, "I have news." Active listening requires intent. The intent to hear not only what's being said, but to learn why it's being said. Active listening is a learning process, a gathering of valuable information, both positive and negative, for both prove equally valuable to the brand that can truly listen. Okay, Amazon is a great example of a brand who is led by active listening. Amazon is one of the first major digital consumer hubs to offer unfiltered, immovable customer reviews. Sellers can't delete bad reviews. They can only respond and hope to inspire the displeased customer to remove the negative feedback voluntarily. CEO Jeff Bezos said that he realized that making the reviews an open forum would result in the loss of many sales, but he recognized, and I quote him here, that Amazon would make a lot more sales long term if we help the customer make informed purchase decisions. While the results of these open forum reviews didn't eliminate dissatisfied customers, over time they did significantly increase customer satisfaction by rerouting people towards experiences they were more likely to be happy about. How often have you liked a product from the look of it, but then decided against it after reading the reviews, right? I always read the reviews before I make my Amazon purchases, and I'm sure you do too. And I often make my purchases according to those reviews. Every time I read a review that a customer is being heard and their voice is making a difference, that's how it should be, right? My customer satisfaction rate with Amazon is through the roof because most of the time, this makes me feel good about Amazon because they're being honest and transparent with me. They're acknowledging my vulnerability. I don't know these people. I don't love these people. I don't trust them yet. It makes me feel good about myself or making a good purchasing decisions. The result? I'm an Amazon brand loyalist. No matter what type of business you're in, brand loyalty is always your business plan. Hone in on your ideal customer's voice, like they are the wise sage with the ancient insight into your brand. Treat them with the respect of a brilliant professor who's revealing the answers to the most important exam of the semester. Open your heart and your mind like you would when listening to a loved one who is making a special announcement, who's called and said, "I've got news." Treat every customer like they know something you don't, because they do. They know what they think, and that is always valuable insight for your brand. The last and perhaps the most powerful secret of an active listening brand is the magic of yes and. These two little words, yes and. This final secret is about responding to your customers once they've shared their voice in regards to your brand. Yes and is a principle used in improvisational comedy. And if you've ever seen something improvised that you could have sworn must have been scripted, then you've witnessed the magic of yes and. And here's a general idea of how it works, although no one can fully understand it because it's like magic. But imagine you're on stage with someone and you start to pretend you're holding like a shovel, you're digging a hole. The other person comes on stage and sees your action, interprets it through their past experiences, and says, "I thought you got the car fixed last week." You think, "The car? What does he mean? The car? I'm holding a shovel. I'm planting a garden." So you say, "No, this isn't a car. It's a shovel, honey. I'm planting a garden, remember?" Okay, so now you've just labeled your partner crazy. And they can either argue with you about who's crazy, is it a shovel or a car or a gardening or a car? Or they can just be the crazy person for the rest of the scene that they think cars are shovels. Either way, you've immediately placed them on an opposing side to you. It'll go okay for a second, but the options are severely limited. The audience can feel this disconnect. Their trust in the story wavers, and pretty soon the scene will die off with a thud. Now, conversely, let's say you're digging with your shovel, your scene partner enters and says, "I thought you got the car fixed last week." And you say, "Yeah, I fixed it all right. Now I'm burying it right next to our last car." And then your partner grabs his shovel too and says, "Damn, we just attended the funeral of Frank's and Virginia's Nova last week. They sure don't make them like they used to." And now you've got a scene where the story is connected. And we're all together in this funny alternative universe where people have burial services for their cars when they die. The feeling is lighter. The audience is with you. There's enthusiasm for the comedic potentials by the magic of yes and. Yes and is a master skill for building brand loyalty that will work in much the same way as it does in improv. That's why I told you the story. It keeps the relationship with your customers positive, enthusiastic, and ongoing, full of potential. When responding to the information provided by your customers, especially when it's not what you expected to hear, yes and will keep the relationship alive. Yes and will keep the conversation going. Whatever opinion, impression, or experience your customer shares, the answer is yes. That is their truth. Yes, you hear them. Yes, you acknowledge what they are saying, and you are acknowledging that it's valuable. Then the and portion provides a contribution, a further agreement. And we appreciate your feedback because it helps us. And this is how our brand is going to support you going forward. And this is why you are an important part of our community. Yes and is a master skill for building brand loyalty. No matter the matter, yes and puts you and your customers on the same side, the same team, the home team. Yes and is the secret behind the shared enthusiasm that can fill an entire arena with cheering fans. They're basically cheering yes and, right? They're going, go, yes, go. When we love something, we gather together to make our voices heard as one on the same side. Yes and. We gather together to be with other people who feel the same way we do. We gather together because we're invested in a common interest. This is the resulting magic of yes and. So, where can you apply the secrets of an active listening brand to enhance your user experience today, even if it's just for one customer? Employ the magic of yes and wherever your brand communicates with your ideal customers. Is a customer reporting a positive experience? Yes and them by thanking them personally and sharing their enthusiasm for their happy results. Is a customer reporting a negative experience? Yes and them by acknowledging that they have had a negative experience and sharing their enthusiasm to get the issue resolved. Is a customer asking for assistance or technical support? Yes and them by acknowledging that they aren't the only one who needs some help, and then share their enthusiasm to get them up and running. Develop this master skill at every opportunity you can, and your brand's relationship with your ideal customers will continue to thrive. No matter what circumstances may arrive, there's ups and downs in every business. You're going to have positive reviews and negative reviews. Fall into your yes and mindset, and you can't lose. No matter what your experience level is today, you can begin to expand that experience right now through active listening. It's a skill you will always be using because listening will be where all your income comes from, all of it. Thank you for joining me today. This quote from Dean Jackson just popped into my head and I have to share it with you. It's something like this. Listening is an art that requires attention over talent, spirit over ego, and others over self. Yes, you can build brand loyalty and increase your income through active listening. Lean into it, enjoy it, because it's always the right choice to love what you do and love how you do it. Thanks for watching. Don't miss out on a single thing. Subscribe below. And here's something else I think you'll love.